Ladies and gentlemen, upcoming event, Power of Youth, hosted by the New Life Baptist Church. We have 2 dates, but first of all, before we get into it, my guest, Jovan Cline, welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you very much.
Jovan, we have 2 dates, July 30th and June 30th, and July 6th, 2019, where young persons in the territory get an opportunity to really sit down, zone in, and have some really healthy discussions. First of all, tell me where the concept came from.
Well, the New Life Baptist Church is always very sensitive and focused on youth development. So it's really an honor to be pulled in to be a part of that development and that vision and that mission. So it really comes from the idea and the inspiration to nurture the youth. There's been a lot of things happening in the community. There's been a lot of things that we've seen and we're hearing, and it's about time that we open up the doors and actually call the youths back in, whether it be from churches or community or groups or schools. We just want to open up the doors and give them a place to come and be heard and realize who they really are.
All right, so tell me about June 30th. What can persons expect?
All right, so on June 30th, we're going to be having more discussions on that day. Okay. So I'm going to be speaking with the youth, and the highlight of the whole thing is going to be the group discussions that's going to happen among the young people who are there. We're going to put them into teams. Okay. Everyone is going to have their own color, and we're going to give each of them a topic to discuss among themselves. And coming down to the ending of the session, everyone is going to share, what their thoughts and perspectives were on the discussions that they had in their groups. And then we're going to bring it all together. And it's really all to highlight the fact that as a young person, you have power, you have a responsibility in your community. You're never too young to be responsible. You're never too young to make a change. You've never gone too far to do something right, and your opinion matters, and it actually affects what's happening around you. So we want to know how they're thinking, we want to know how they feel, and beyond that, we want to know what they would like to input and what they would like to see happen in their community. And then a step beyond that, we want to help them figure out how to make those things happen.
What I love about that, Jovan, is that we're not giving them a seat at the table, because the table really and truly belongs to us.
Yeah.
It is our table, the future generation. And you continuously hear the youths are the future, but I think we're more the present, because in this day and age, you see young persons of all walks of life taking leaps and bounds in different facets of life. Right. But at the end of the day, sometimes the discussions are not being had. So kudos to you guys for putting on this event and actually meeting the young people halfway. Right. So June 30th, a lot of discussions, group activities, group discussions rather. Tell me about some of the speakers. Yourself, of course.
Okay, so on June 30th, I'm actually the only speaker.
Okay.
But the highlights are going to be those perspectives that are going to come from the groups. Okay. So I'm the only listed speaker, but the young people that are there, their voice is going to be heard on that day. Okay. Their perspective is going to be highlighted on that day.
What are some of the topics that you tend to or expect to present in these discussions?
On June 30th?
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about the journey of life. We're going to be talking about preparation. We're going to be talking about, what do we need in the community. We're going to be talking about church. What's the perspective on church? Why should you come? Why shouldn't you come? Why do you come? Why don't you come? We're going to be talking about our schools or education. What are some of the things that you think you should be learning, or what are some of the things that you have learned and you don't know how to apply it? So we're going to try to hit every angle from the community. We're going to be talking about the home. What's your perspective on family? Because one of the key things that I see as a school counselor, and even just as a young person myself, as we're growing up, we are fed a lot of expectations on what a father should be, what a mother should be.
A lot of foolery most of the time.
And it doesn't line up like that. So, as a young person, when you're expecting someone to be something and then it turns out that, they're actually just another person, that kind of rocks your world. So we're going to be looking at those things and, kind of getting it back to reality. The key of the whole thing would be for the administrators of the program just to keep the whole session, keep the entire program realistic, to keep it grounded, and to keep hope and that authority, that dominion that we want the young people to walk away with, to keep those things present in the atmosphere of the whole program.
Amazing. I want to point out the fact that it is hosted by the New Life Baptist Church.
Yes.
However, we're inviting persons of all walks of life.
Yes.
Okay? So the age group is
please,
12 and up.
Please, 12 and up, whether you're coming from a different church or whether you're with a school or club organization, please come out to the program. This is not just a church event. This is not just a New Life Baptist Church event. This is not just a sectioned off Christian event. You know, we want every young person in the territory to come to this event and take part because it's about you.
And that's both male and female.
Male and female.
All right,
yes.
wonderful. So let's jump to July 6th. What can we expect?
July 6th is going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun day. There's a lot of interaction. The kids, again, they're going to be continuing in those groups that they're sectioned off in, and they're going to be competing in different activities to gain points.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what the prize of these points are as yet. If you want to know, come to the program. So they're going to be doing different activities for points. We have an obstacle course. We have some other riddle type games. We're going to have some carnival games that they could be doing. Okay. And throughout the entire day from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we're going to have different speakers coming in to them. For example, we have Angel Cameron, we have Giovanni Hobart, we have Dr. Ruben, and they're going to be coming in, speaking with them on different topics. We're going to have a section of the day where the males break off together and the females break off together, because there's some things that men need to know. There's some things that women need to know that, you know, the two wouldn't necessarily relate to across, you know, and we need to take some time to focus on those specific things. So we'll have that moment. And we will also have some entertainment by Stone Juice, Chip Hamilton and Stone Juice. They're going to be coming in, doing some entertainment. It's all about
this
interaction.
is really interactive, really fun, really down to earth. Wonderful.
Oh, also, it's going to be free food for all the youths. Free food throughout the event, because we just want them to be there. We want them to be comfortable. And last but not least, we also have a dunk tank.
You know, that sounds really fun. Who are some of the people you intend on having in this dunk tank? Because I may just come just for that.
So I'll mention 3 people. Sure. We'll have some more, but I'll mention 3 people. Right now we have Brent Hoyt, who's going to be there. We all know Brent Hoyt, very talented young man. He's doing amazing things, representing the territory and within the territory. We have Raul Juguspa, of course, of Vibe. He agreed, and I was very excited when he agreed to come and sit in the dunk tank. And we also have our very own Plaza Claude Skelton Cline. We put him on the spot on Sunday. He said if he's here, he'll do it. But we're hoping. So as it's listed right now, Pastor Claude Skelton Cline will be in the dunk tank, and you will have an opportunity to dunk Pastor Claude Skelton Cline.
Well, Jovan, before we go any further, I want to backtrack a little bit, because your years of experience as a guidance counselor in the schools would, of course, open your thought process and your ideas and feelings towards a lot of the stuff that our youth are facing. You're also a Purple Dragon instructor, and you've been involved with the youth for quite a bit of time. Tell me about some of the issues that you see affecting our young people today.
Issues. I'll start with self-awareness. I think a lot of the fall with the young people starts with the fact that they don't value themselves, and they just look at what's immediately around them instead of understanding that, you know, there's a bigger wall for me to compare myself to. There's a bigger wall for me to line myself up with. And the fact that among this entire wall, I am unique. And once they see that, I believe that, you know, they'll be more responsible with their actions. They'll be more responsible with their mindset. They'll understand that they have something to actually give. They won't be so easy to get caught up with someone else who's wasting their time, because they'll understand the value of their own time. So that's one thing, self-awareness. The other thing that I see a fallout and it's not necessarily their fault. The representation in the community, there's only so much a school can do. There's only so much certain parents can do. But if we have certain stakes in the community where young people can go to be reinforced, and we have, some organizations like that. We have we have MAIL, we have some of the Rotaract organizations, and so on and so forth. But if we have some more, and not just the organizations, but key people,
because it still takes a village to raise a child.
It does. So I think that's something else. I'll say one more thing that I think it might be a little touchy, but as a people, we focus on things so much where pride becomes our position, pride becomes our composure. I feel like we've taken so much time to try to get away from the poor tortola that we wore, that we've put so much emphasis on material things and riches, and that has been passed on to us, the youth, in a way where we have lost morality, we have lost values, we have lost the sense of responsibility that has made this country the great country that it is. And that's something that we need to reestablish. That's something that we need to get back into. Kids don't need $1 million to be okay. They don't need the latest this or the latest that. They need the mindset. They need the know-how. They need to know that their ideas can actually get them into positions. They need to know that the way that they present themselves can be the key to the door, and not necessarily knowing somebody.
Indeed.
So these are things that I see and I come across that kind of umbrella every other issue that we generally come across.
Jovan, one question for you, one last question. What should we be paying attention to more in the BVI? If you could pick one thing,
one thing
that we should absolutely be paying more attention to.
One thing that we should be paying more attention to. Vision. I use the word vision.
Okay.
When we go across every organization that we have, when we go across every setup that we have, whether it's to help adults or youths at this point, we lack vision.
Okay.
We lack the direction of what are we doing this for right now? Where's the end goal? And it should translate across governments. It should translate across parties. It should translate across people. And that will give us a sense of our culture.
Okay.
That would give us a sense of our morality. It would give us a sense of, our goals for the country. So when someone steps into the country, they know what we're about.
Because
and when
we seem to know what we're about.
Right.
Okay.
So, and when we step out of our country, we're still holding on to what we're about. And I think that all comes from vision. We try to do a lot, and there's some people who's doing some really amazing things in the country. But if we can hold one head, to have a vision to say in the next 10 years, this is what we want education to look like. In the next 10 years, this is what we want to have for our people. Things like that. And I'm sure there's some discussions happening on certain levels, but it's something that everyone needs to be exposed to.
All right.
And I think that's something we need to focus on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on 284 Media. Vision is definitely one thing we should be paying more attention to. And Jovan Cline, along with the New Life Baptist Church, they are putting their money where their mouth is, basically, when it comes to vision, and putting on the Power of a Youth event, which is going to be held on June 30th and July 6th. Please go out and register, get your kids registered. This is an amazing event. Jovan, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Get online today with CCT Go Fast LTE. Simply select from any one of our Go Fast LTE plan options. Each plan offers unlimited wireless residential internet and are priced to suit your budget and required data speed. Stop by any one of our locations and speak with one of our representatives. And get online with Go Fast LTE, the BVI's preferred choice for reliability, speed, and affordability. CCT Life Unlimited.